Hello and welcome back to the Indian PokeTube, and I bring to you a very balanced and a very fun team for the Ultra League edition of the Summer Cup. This is Venusaur double electric, and electric is honestly running free throughout the meta. First match we pick up a lead against the spider. I mean, our whole team is like pretty neutral to it. I'm going to go straight for a frenzy. The reason being that the spider is very glassy and even a frenzy will do almost half its health. I can tank the Lunge easily, go for a frenzy which will do at least around 50%. Opponent gives us a shield. I'm going to save switch to my Ampharos to draw out the swampert or to draw out any counter to an electric type. So once I draw out the swampert, I can beat it with the Venusaur and hopefully my Magnezone is free to sweep. That's how the team works. It's a classic ABB line, and I throw the brutal swing on the CMP because I can reach the next one earlier. So which is why I did not anyway, I'm able to throw the brutal swing and I get both shields from the opponent, which is awesome. Opponent overfarms massively and brings in the little thick squirrel. I do have a focus blast, so I'm going to shield, but I'm not going to throw it because I am debuffed. I'm going to switch out to my Venusaur here because he does not seem to have an amazing response to an electric type, which is why I'm going to bring in the big Venusaur. Go for a nice frenzy which will do quite a bit, and I'm going to keep that loaded focus blast for later. I was feeling that it could be his own Magnezone. Maybe the greedent is supposed to draw out the Blaziken or the counter user like the obstagoon, and then maybe he has a Magnezone in the back. So that's what I had in my mind right now. So I've kept the focus blast stored with that in mind. Anyway, in comes a thick squirrel against my big UFO thing, and he can go for a crunch. It won't do a lot of damage. I can overfarm quite a bit, but sadly this is still not mirror shot range. The thick boy is just way too thick in the UL. I go for the wild charge, boom, take him out. What does he have in the back? He brings in his little spider, and I'm like, obviously I win CMP. I've reached the wild charge. It's an easy CMP win, but I lose the CMP. I had no idea that Magnezone, a mon that goes to the Master League, actually loses CMP to the guy, but at least I'm able to live the Lunge on just 1 HP, go for the big boom, and he has a jellicent. This is horrible. My entire calculation has been wrong. It's not something I can one shot, and I don't think I can make the third brutal swing, but come on Ampharos, let's see. Opponent is at the surf. He should just throw it and win the game, but for some reason he does not throw. He thought maybe I have a move on my Magnezone, and instead, boom, take down the jelly, and my Ampharos is able to clean up that game, and that's a great game. Honestly, that was a misplay by the opponent. Maybe he was not keeping track. He thought that my Magnezone may have a move, which is why he went for the farm down. So GG's to him. And in the second match, I pick up a lead against Slowbro. Running Confusion, I instantly bring in my Ampharos. I don't let that Shadow Confusion register on my Venusaur. That would have absolutely boomed us. But now it's a time for a reverse boom. We go for that big focus blast, which does massive damage to the Ferrothorn. And I really need to flip switch. He goes for a mirror shot bait, and he has built up to the power whip. And I think the power whip may KO from this range, which is why I'm going to shield. But he's running a very unconventional moveset of Thunder. And he brings in a tank growth here. So at least I'm able to flip switch. I can keep my Venusaur away from the Slowbro, and also I have my Magnezone for that. So I'm going to just spam out a few brutal swings because if I go for the focus, he can overfarm way too much. So I'm just going to spam out these brutal swings, go for a third brutal swing. Ampharos is putting in a crazy amount of work. I think Ampharos is the best safe switch in this current meta. That's what I feel. And I can reach a fourth brutal swing, which forces the opponent to throw some of his energy. And now he can't really farm us down. In comes the Slowbro. Again, I avoid taking the damage. Opponent has 2 shields, so I'm feeling quite comfortable baiting here. But the opponent is a mad lad, lets it go. But it's fine. He's at a point where my Venusaur can farm everything down. So I'm just going to use the shield here because I want to get off more spark damage. Go for a mirror shot on the CMP tie to the second surf. I'm hoping for an attack drop, but I don't get a single attack drop even after throwing 2 mirror shots. I'm hoping that I can reach one more. He does have a shield, and come on, I'm throwing my third mirror shot, and I'm really hoping for an attack drop. I hope the Slowbro does not reach a psychic. I come in with the Venusaur and boom, snipe the Shadow Slowbro, and this match is over. There's nothing the opponent can do. His only win con was to fire off a psychic into the Venusaur to win the game, but he does not get that as we get the snipe, and that's a great game. We are off to a 2-0 start, and I'm not sure how many battles we've won or lost so far, but we've gone massively positive in the 3 sets that I've played this team. I mean, I've not played this team for 3 sets. I've only played it for 2 sets. Played a different team in the first set. Anyway, third match, pick up a Nightmare lead against a Charizard. I'm going to instantly save switch to an Ampharos, and the opponent takes a bit of time before bringing in the obstagoon. This is fine because he does throw on alignment, letting us sneak an entire volt switch, and I want shield advantage. or switch advantage in this case. I feel that once obstagoon is out, my Magnezone can sweep, so I'm going to go for the big focus blast and get a shield, which is fine by me. I mean, honestly, I was expecting a shield, but the bait was too risky. Again, he throws an alignment, and I've reached the energy for the focus blast, so I can just under tap and go for it. Opponent is a good player, does not fall for a CMP trap, and he's going to give us both his shields in exchange for switch advantage. I can even get off a brutal swing. Like I said, Ampharos is insane. Ampharos is absolutely insane. I went for 2 focus blasts and a brutal swing against an obstagoon. And now the opponent can spam out these night slashes. I'm perfectly fine with that. I can live all of these. The issue is if the like Charizard comes in and baits, because he has quite a bit of energy. He loaded up 5 wing attacks, I remember that. So I have to call a bait against Magnezone. That's going to be the biggest call in the match. I'm expecting the Charizard, and in comes the Zard. But if he baits here, he can outpace me. I have to make a big call, and my Balls of Steel is going to call it, and I get the call right. This was the entire game, and now I think I can win this match pretty comfortably. Boom, down goes the Charizard, and even if he brings in the obstagoon, which he does not, he was too low, I would have farmed him down as well, even with the lower defense. In comes the thick Walrus, and guess what? I'm going for another wild charge. Boom, another massive damage. I can shield this move and reach a third wild charge to boom the obstagoon. So that's what I'm going to do. I anyway have a lot of energy on my Venusaur. Who cares? I'm going to go for my third wild charge. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match, just like Home Slice Henry says. So I think this is a 4-0 start so far. Yep, it's 4 out of 4 so far. I had to cut out a battle because there was quite a bit of lag in the middle. I didn't want to show it, very glitchy. Anyway, so we have a few more battles with this team, and in the end, if you're sticking around for so long, do wait for my Executor to put in work instead of Venusaur. So 4th match, pick up a spicy lead, Zapdos, and I'm going to count to 5 and catch the Drill Peck on the Ampharos. This is the match where I make crazy catches, so stay tuned if you've been watching for so long. In comes the little fishy boy. I think it's a Hundo maxed out Lantern, which is actually a pretty good mon. I was very surprised to see how much it does here. I was like, I'm easily going to survive 2 serves, but I won't be. So that's crazy. So even though it has a lower CP, Fishy Boy is supremely tanky. Opponent is an amazing player, letting his Lantern get low so my Venusaur gets less farm. So great play by there. I should have actually undercharged my focus play. I did not think it would do that much. Anyway, I tanked the Thunderbolt like a champion, and he seems to be weak to Venusaur, so I feel quite safe baiting. And now I'm going to try to cast the next Drill Peck. Since I caught the last Drill Peck exactly on 5, I don't think he'll throw on 4 this time. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit, go for a Sludge Bomb here and there. Honestly, I should have gone for 2 Frenzies. 1 Sludge will not KO. And I make a second catch, even though he threw at an awkward timing. I caught it on instinct. I'm able to catch a double resisted Drill Peck. And even though he has a Blaziken, which is a hard counter to this whole team, except for the Ampharos, it just hoops my 2 mons. But I do have 2 shield advantage. I can take down the guy. And now this is pretty comfortable because 2 Frenzies will KO, but I end up making a mistake. I thought maybe a Sludge KOs, but it's not the Great League. None of us is Shadow. If either one of us was Shadow, I think it would have KO'd. So misplay by me. I should have gone for the 2 Frenzies, but now it's going to be tight. Zapdos outpaces Venusaur by a huge margin, but I'm able to get off the Frenzy plant, and it's going to boom the Zapdos, and that's a great game. Sorry about that. So we're able to take that game. Even though I made a slight misplay, I was able to make 2 crazy catches, and those catches won me the match. So like they say in cricket, catches win matches. I totally stick by it. And this is the last match with the Venusaur team. Then I'm going to be switching out to the guy Executor. Pick up a lead against the Virizion, which is supremely spammy. If you're not keeping track, suddenly it'll reach 5 Leaf Blades out of nowhere. So I go for a Sludge Bomb, and the opponent shield is too risky to bait, so there's no point in baiting. And this can be a Stone Edge. It's not a Stone Edge. He goes for the Sacred Sword, so it makes me believe he is not running the Stone Edge. In comes the Charizard, and up a shield. I feel safe bringing in my Magnezone. I can safely shield. It doesn't matter whether he baits or not. I do have 2 shields, so he does go for the big blast burn. I can overfarm by 5, and then I can throw the wild charge. It's going to take him out and also lower my defense, and I'm hoping that since I'm so loaded, the Virizion will not risk farming me down, because I'm supremely loaded. So after 1 mirror shot, I think 2 wild charges will actually KO him. So yeah, exactly. So he's kind of forced to throw. He could have farmed me down, but then he would be like 10 HP. So he gets the farm down. Sadly, I don't get the move off. I can go for a Sludge Bomb after going for a Vine Whip. There's no way the opponent can catch. So I get the last shield here, and I'm expecting him to be, I'm going to let this go. I don't think it's a Stone Edge. He's Yep, so it's not a Stone Age, but I will shield the next one because this will get me very low. Like, I'll still be alive with like 10-15 HP, but I still want to keep the Venusaur around for a while. He spams like crazy, as you can see. I'm expecting him to snipe me at this point, which is why I went to my Ampharos with this, but luckily he switches out anyway. Had he stayed in for a bit longer, I think you might have even had a win condition, but this way Ampharos comes in, boom, focus blast, takes down the little Alolan Golem, and now my win con is very clear. I'm going to commit to the focus blast because I have a loaded sludge. So either the opponent has to use his energy to take me out, or I'll reach a focus. In that way he can't get to the move, or if he overfarms, I'll reach the focus. So I'm making sure I have my win con here. I can go for a Vine Whip, unnecessary, but I knew he was dry on energy, so I'm going to go for the sludge, boom, take out the guy, and that's a great game. So great battles with this team. It's super balanced. I can highly recommend it, guys. And this is the team that I ran before running the Venusaur because I wanted to have some fun with the Executor. But I would not recommend it at all. It's just for fun, guys. So you're going to see Executor put in quite a lot of work in these two last bonus battles. First battle, we pick up a lead against a Luxray, and I thought this is an amazing lead. It only gets Psychic Fangs and Wild Charge. I mean, it does get Crunch, but they don't run it. So I'm like, this is easy. I can easily live a Psychic Fangs and a Wild Charge because that's what they're supposed to do. Cool, no problemo. I'm not even going to throw my energy. Like, I'm sure I live a Wild Charge. Come on, it's resisted. But no, boom, down goes my Executor with all that energy, and I was like, what did I just do? Did I just throw the entire game away? And I was so disappointed in Executor. This was the first or second game I played with this team, and honestly, but you'll see that I'm able to play quite well and come back, but still Executor is just supremely classy. And since he's shielding my Ampharos, I feel pretty confident he's also weak to Ampharos in the back, so he gave me both his shields, and at this point I can throw 3 volt switches. In fact, I can throw 4 because so I'm going to farm him down in 3 volt switches, get all that beautiful energy in the world. In comes the Luxray. I can go for a brutal swing and almost take him out. I somehow deny his snarl, I don't know, but either way it wouldn't have mattered because he was at 0 energy. In comes a Gyarados. No wonder he was scared of the Ampharos, and Ampharos just casually swept his whole team. Opponent sees the writing on the wall the moment I bring in my Magnet. Honestly, he just gave up the moment my Ampharos just swept his entire team. So that's a great game. Even though Executor did nothing, who did not even throw a single charge move, just came and went down. So this is the final match. This is where Executor actually gets to do something. In the 5 battles I played, I went 2-3. So these are the 2 wins, and the 3 of them I got hooped with Executor. Anyway, so finally I get a good lead with a Virizion, which is amazing. Even if it's running the Stone Edge, it's a pretty good lead. In comes the Charizard. Honestly, I could have thrown the Psychic, but I feel quite confident bringing in the Ampharos. I know he's probably going to bait fighting for Switch, but it's fine because I can get a couple of shields here. So I'm going to go for a brutal swing. I think I can get both shields even if he goes for a blast burn. So I felt quite safe. This, even if it's a blast burn, which is going to be, I think I can live it. And let's see, do I live it? I barely do. I under tap and reach the brutal swing. So the opponent has to give up 2 shields. In that case, my Executor can boom anything. So he lets it go. Good play by him. He realizes I'm loaded on my Lelon Executor. On my regular Kanto Executor. I'm going to let this go again. If it's a Stone Age, I can survive. I know I'm glassy as hell, but he does not run it. And in the back, he has an Alolan Golem, and I can just go for 2 seed bomb. I can just win with the Executor, but I'm going to have some fun here, I think. Yep, I'm going to try to catch a move unnecessarily. I'm just going to sack the Magnezone. I want to win with the Executor. I put so much of work with this in the first season when Pokemon Go came out. There was no PvP, and we used to keep these mons in the gyms. I used to put up Executor and Vaporeon and all of those gyms because those were the only high CP mons I had. So I really wanted to get the win with Executor. So I'm just going to let him almost take me out. In comes the Virizion. Beautiful, do whatever you want. And now I'm just going to bring in my Executor, nom nom nom, eat up the Virizion, and that's going to be a great game. Finally a match where Executor was able to do something. I had to sacrifice the other mons for it, but it's fine, it works. I'm going to take that win, and that's a great game. Do subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, like the video. Really helps me out and keeps me motivated. Thank you guys so much for watching.